Many VCS owners ask the question, should I upgrade my VCS? Yes. Thanks for watching. Just kidding, everybody. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here for Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of Good Times with Retro Rich. And actually, yes, it wasn't a joke answer. The answer to the question, should I upgrade my Atari VCS 800, is actually yes. You 100% should upgrade your VCS. And in this video, I'm going to just go over an overview of some of the reasons why you might want to do that thing, and just kind of give you some like fresh impressions of a new upgrade. So, beginning with cost. Does it cost a lot to upgrade your Atari VCS? Now, this is subjective because if you just purchased for $80 or $99 your Atari VCS 800 from the Black Friday sale, then the figures I'm about to give you are like, well, you're asking me to spend over 50% of the cost of the item, Rich. What are you talking about? So let's just put some things in perspective, okay? What you bought for $80 and $99 or $99 or $100 on Black Friday was simply a mini PC that is also a console. So in that realm, yeah, you just got a great deal on a really cool piece of tech that you can upgrade pretty easily. So in the realm of cost, does it cost a lot to upgrade your Atari VCS? The answer is no. For under the allotted amount that you just paid for your console. So we're talking around $30 to $40 for RAM, maybe even under, depending upon whether or not you want to go to different brands or not. And around the same price for a hard drive, we're talking a terabyte SSD now. You can get a terabyte SSD and RAM for under what you paid for, even if you got the $80 bundle. I think that's a pretty insanely crazy good deal. But what does it do to the machine? Well, we'll find out in just a second. Now, the first thing I want to say is to answer the next question is it easy enough to upgrade? Well, that depends. If you've got some patience and the right tools, you can get the job done and be able to, with a high-speed internet connection, nearly download the entire VCS store in under 3 hours. Now, how can I tell you that? Well, just to give you a little thing here is while I'm doing this video, that's exactly what I'm doing. On a machine that we just did a test upgrade to, I'm going through and downloading every single one of the games on the Atari VCS store from beginning to end while we're recording this video. So we'll go on back and we'll just double check to see how far I can get. Can I get to the end of the VCS store and install Wivia before the end of the video? I don't know. We'll see. But is it easy, right? So let's go back to over here. I think I got another camera view over here. Yeah. So if you've got one of these, like a little precision screwdriver set, you don't have to have the 124 piece one. You can have any one of them. If you got one of these, and you got to make sure you get the ones that also have these blue guys right here, these spudgers. If you got one of those, you're in good shape. You got some spudgers, you're going to be able to get the front and back plates off pretty easily. The front one is a little bit of a bear, so don't be afraid that you're going to break it. It'll actually work out for you. We're going to show you next week, right here on Good Times with Great Friends. We're going to do one live. We're going to do an entire setup right here with this VCS. I'm not even going to turn it on. We're going to open it straight up, and we're going to do the upgrades right over there so you can get to know the exact thing, phase one, from start to finish, and we'll do a full video on that for you. But for right now, I just want to let you know this is what just happened. You know, we got a little mag strip, so you can put that's only 10 screws to get into the entire thing, both the hard drive and RAM install. It's only 10 screws, 40 to get into the thing, and 6 to do the flip of the motherboard. But we'll talk about that later. And then all you need is one screw. It's a hex bolt. It's not a standard bolt, but you need this guy right here, the 10. You need the little 10 starry bit. Now, if I can get this thing to like focus on my hand, I don't know if it'll. There it is. You need this 10, the number 10 starry bit. So you can see the little star bit there. All of those screws that are in the VCS use this bit. So you got to make sure you use that one and nothing else, because well, that's what they use. So as long as you have that bit with a little precision screwdriver, and like I said, you got these spudger guys, you're in good shape. So is it easy to get in there? Yes. Now, do you have to be careful? So that's a difference, right? It's not like we're saying, oh, is it so easy? Yeah, you can just do it and then it'll just work and it'll be fine. Yeah, well, don't go in there guns blazing, because you're going to wind up cracking plastic, crack your case. You might rip the cable of the Wi-Fi chip. You know, that's not a good sign. You don't want to be doing that either. But you know, so like I said, there's things that you want to handle, you know, things you want to be careful of, but yeah, you can get it done. So in a sense, yeah, 10 screws is not that hard. You can get in there and it'll be pretty easy. It's not that daunting. Like I said, on Tuesday, next Tuesday, on Good Times with Good Friends, we've got, what's that, Tuesday the 17th of December. So mark your calendars. You can get some like good looks in as to what that whole process looks like, because we're going to do it right in front of you. And hey, if something goes wrong, if something goes crazy, hey, it happens, right? You know, this is life. We're going to do it for you. We're going to show it to you. But I wanted to say that we've actually already had this. We just tested the hardware. So those things that we need to buy, right? Yeah. What do we need to buy? Let me go back to that before I answer some of the other questions, right, that I have. So the ease and the cost, right? Well, so how many things do you need to buy, I guess, is the next question. You only need to buy two things. So let's go back to here. Do you need an SSD, right? You got to buy a M.2 SATA drive. All right, SATA only, no NVMe. NVMe won't work in the Atari VCS. So M.2 SATA. I got this King spec here. I'll put links in the description when we get into to doing this. I don't know if I'll do it on this video or we'll do it on the Tuesday video, but we'll give you links to these guys in the Amazon links. There's no referral links or anything. I don't make any money on that stuff. This is what I bought, right? That'll be a list. So you got this. You got a terabyte. Like I said, these were on sale. I got these for less than $40. Terabytes aren't that bad expensive anymore, and you don't need anything more than a terabyte. I'll tell you that right now, and I'll show you why in just a second. Team Group, all right, they make this Elite DDR4. It's 32 gigs of RAM. That's two 16 gig sticks. They're clocked at 3200, but they'll work at 2400, which is what the Atari VCS standard is. If you want to go into the BIOS and get crazy and do overclocking, well, that's another thing. It's another whole story, another show. We didn't do that. We're not planning on do that. We're running stock. And I can tell you, if you put this Team Group Elite DDR4 32 gig RAM kit and a King spec, this specific King spec SSD, if you put these two things in your Atari VCS, they will work. Why do I know that? Like I said, I am now installing Roasty Bud's special brew on a VCS that is running with both of those things installed right now. So we're at Roasty Buds already. So can we get to the end of this video and have all of the games installed? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. There's some that might be pretty big. There might be some pretty big games in here. We have to wait a little bit to download on the high-speed internets. So anyway, is it fun to do? Or is it okay? So here's the next question. Is it worth it? Not money worth, like performance wise. Is it even worth it to consider doing it? Now, that was the one big question that I had about the RAM, because I was initially not afraid. I'm a computer technician. I kind of do this for a living, but concerned, right? Even if you spend $100 on a thing, you want to make sure that you're not buying a brand new piece of hardware, digging into the thing, and then just breaking it, right? You don't want to do that. No one wants to do that. So is it worth your time, your effort, your money, your all of that stuff to get a performance boost? Do you get a performance boost? And I can tell you, sitting down right now, looking at this thing after we've done this upgrade, it is overwhelmingly yes on both fronts. Now, I already knew that putting in the SSD is super easy. It was just 4 screws and the 2 plates. And then you were in, like Flynn, you put in the hard drive and you're done. That was easy. Going for the RAM, again, it's in a couple extra steps and you're good, but it's a little more daunting. You got to watch out for the little ribbon cables that are on the either side for the USB ports, but that's just a simple little flick of a switch. We'll show you that again on Tuesday. And then, of course, you got to worry about the Wi-Fi card. You can't just rip the thing open, because if you do, you could either tear the Wi-Fi antenna completely off of the base. It's actually stuck to the top plate on the plastic. The 2 ends are stuck to the top plate, and then the actual antenna things are the antenna nodes are actually connected to the little mini card that is the Wi-Fi card that's on the top. So you got to be careful you don't rip it too hard. So when it starts coming apart, just be very careful about opening it. You open it like a book, you lay it down, it's going to be fine. You can even leave the nodes connected when you do the 6 screws out of the motherboard and then fold it like a book right on top. It's going to be fine. Just make sure you're not pinching anything or doing anything like that, and you're going to be okay. So, like I said, now I just want to give you guys an update. Did I get, it's 185 games in the game column on the store on the VCS. Did I get all the way to Wivia, right? So we got Wivia. I can launch, which means it's on the drive. Can I get all the way down the store? Now, if I was doing this on my collector's edition Atari VCS 800 right now, I would be scared. I've done this many, many, many times. Loading the store, going down the list and loading the store. Very frightened, because by the time I got to the 5th time I did this thing would lock up and I would have to restart my Atari VCS. I got all the way down to the bottom. All right. Atari VCS Vault comes with the Atari VCS. It's already installed. Vault 2. So did I install Vault 2? Just to make sure that sometimes people will be like, well, you didn't really install. That says launch. All right, cool. Let's go up here. Let's go. So something ate my alien. That says launch. Let's go over here. Let's go to Desert Falcon, random. That says launch. Let's go over here. Fatal Run. That says launch. Let's go over here. Combinera. That was a bigger game. That says launch. Atari Mania. That says launch. Atari 50. That's 5 gigabits of information. That says launch. Gonna get the update soon, hopefully, right? Tournament. We'll go up here. That says launch. We'll go to Days of Doom. That was another big one. I still haven't played it on the Fun for 5. That says launch. Food Fight, giant one, right? That says launch. And Madness Beverage. That's another 6 gig game. I think this is the biggest game on Atari VCS outside of Atari 50, which will have that huge update soon. That says launch. So, and we can get all the way back up to Wivia. We'll go to Fires of Industry because that's a new one. And I did just say that I was downloading Roasty Buds. Oh, it said a little too fast for the store. A little too fast for the store. It says launch. Right? So we have completed downloading every single game on the Atari VCS store and doing the upgrade. My counter here, if I could show you the counter, I've got a counter here. It says 2 hours and 13 minutes that I've been recording to the hard drive of the machine that I'm on right now. And that's 2 hours and 13 minutes. We had a half hour before that of us ripping this thing apart. So under 3 hours. I've upgraded the machine, gotten into the store, and downloaded every single title for the Atari VCS onto the Atari VCS after the upgrade. That's how fast it can be done. And not trying to speed run it or anything, but just casually doing whatever. Taking calls here or there. I was in a meeting, doing whatever, just kind of doing the thing. So the reason why now I've just shown you that I've done the thing where I have shown you that we have downloaded all these things to the VCS. This 1 terabyte drive has 0.8 terabytes free, and they're all on that drive. Every single game except for the ones you just see right here. All right. So the games to manage, you got the Vault. All right. Xbox Cloud Gaming. All right. There's a Vault 2 is the only one that I could move, and I probably should. Let me just move it. Let me move it to here. Confirm. All right, so I've now moved every single game except for Vault 1 from either directly downloaded from the Atari VCS store to the hard drive, or have transferred from the internal drive to the bundle drive, to the 1 terabyte, right? And on the 1 terabyte drive, there's 0.8 terabytes free. All right, there is 115.3 gigabits taken of every game that's on the Atari VCS. All the games that are on the Atari VCS, they're all sitting here, ready to be managed, ready to be played, right? And I've got 12% used. So that's another, like I said, 0.8, 800 gigabit worth of space still left on a terabyte drive. There is no need for a 2 terabyte, no need for a 4 terabyte. It's 1 terabyte's going to get the job done, and then some. You could probably get away with 500 gig. So even if you wanted to, you could find a better deal and get a 500 gig SSD M2 and pop it in there. I just know that between 500 and 1 terabyte right now, you get a good price on the 1 terabytes, and you're going to be fine, right? So there's all those games, and then I can go to my games app, my games tab, and here are all my games. So the other reason why I think it's worth it to do that, right, is because, again, I've been showing you that I'm on the Atari VCS. I am scrolling through all of these games. If this was my collector's edition Atari VCS without that extra RAM, I would have had to restart this VCS at least 2 or 3 times during the course of this video because it would have frozen. I am not joking around. I know the performance hindrances sometimes on the Atari VCS. There is no shot, no way that I'm getting to do this and it actually working like this. There's no way. Everything is loading faster. Everything is refreshing faster. Everything is doing the things that it needs to do faster. It's just, there's no way that this gets done without some kind of grief being caused. So to answer that final question, is it worth it to do the update as far as the non economics, right? Is it worth it to get performance? Yes. Is it worth it to get the convenience of having to be able to download the entire store onto a device? Because you never know, right? 2, 3, 4 years from now, is Atari still going to be supporting the VCS? I hope so, but you never know. They're a company that does different things that they're beholden to their shareholders, or they have to do whatever they need to do. It's just being realistic, right? Maybe there's a new device, a new Atari, and they sunset this one just like any other company would sunset theirs. And you want to have all the games because you bought all the games. You can have the entire catalog right now for under a terabyte, under 500 gigabits, and still have room for more. So yes, it's worth it to do that, just to preserve all your purchases, preserve all your games. Now, performances for games, we'll see. We'll wait and see, because I'm not going to be able to fun revive all those things. But I can tell you this: while I was downloading the games, some of them were already installed on the regular SSD, and I transferred them over. and I forgot that I had downloaded them. There was a couple little games here and there, Doodle Taxi, or some of the 2600 games that I was checking out here in Studio B. They were still on there, and I hit the button, it would load right away. That's the other thing. Like, I hit the button, it would just load. Well, the operating system has more room to work now, right? With the extra RAM. So things are a little more snappy. That's very cool. Getting that extra performance boost. I really wish that during the planning stages of this device, and I know that had like a kind of a weird launch period, and it would have cost more money and yada, yada, yada. But I really do wish that some of the engineers, when they were doing this project, took a look at something like, hey, you know what? Maybe 16 gigs instead of 8 would have been better. And back then, that's still 16 gigs would have been cheap to throw in there. These are just regular DDR4 sticks of RAM we're talking about. Come on. And as far as the storage goes, I mean, obviously, yeah, more storage is going to cost more money and that kind of thing. But I really wish that the internal drive was a little more than the 32 or whatever gigs that they give you for the OS and the storage. It would have been nice. Again, I understand that sometimes you got to get that price point down as cheap as possible to try to get the most attractive thing, because you're putting a whole motherboard. You got a motherboard, you got a video card, you got the processor, you got the RAM, you got the storage, you got everything, and you got to box it up, make it look nice, and you put that shiny Atari logo on it, and you got to hit a price point, right? And they had to do what they had to do to get it there, and I get that. But if they ever do this again, if there's an Atari VCS 2, man, I better have better, like more expanded SSD storage and at least 16 gigs of RAM on this thing just to start. Because when you put 32 in this thing, it's a beast. It's cool. It's very, very neat. Now, I'm not saying this is going to blow everybody's mind out of the water and it's going to play all the Steam games and all that kind of stuff. That's not, I mean, and you guys should know that's not what we do here. And I'm not really banner waving too. I'm just really impressed because I'm such a fan of the ecosystem and the dev teams that put out games for the system. I just really like and enjoy being a part of this community. And it's so cool to see that just a little bit of effort and a little bit of like just elbow grease, and a little bit of resources, could enhance your experience. And I think that's really, really cool. Shout out to Gunsy20 because he was able to help do this very tear down and upgrade. And shout out to him again, because Tuesday we're gonna do it all over again with that thing right there on Good Times with Great Friends Live. So check out that soon. We should be able to do, in that one show, should be able to do the tear down, the upgrade, and at least the setup before we gotta go. So hope you guys tune in and we'll do that live for you guys. For GTC members, there's actually maybe some behind the scenes stuff. I'll talk to Gunsy and see if he wants to do that. I actually had some of that footage of us doing the original teardown for this job. So if GTC members, you want to go ahead and see some behind the scenes stuff, probably not audio only, because there's some like stuff that's going on doing whatever, but it's just the video. Maybe I'll put some put a cool power track from our buddies over at the Power. And we'll do some of that stuff, and that would be kind of cool. I think maybe we'll do that. Hopefully he'll say, yeah, let's do it, and we'll roll with that. But anyway, just a little short one, actually not a short one, it's a 20-minute video here, just about that. Just hopefully you guys can see that, if you got a VCS and you want to do some cool stuff with it, there is some cool stuff that you can do, and it will 100% enhance your experience of play. Let me know down below in the comments. Did you like the video? Did you not like the video? Do you like videos like this in general? If you like those things, maybe we'll try to like tinker around with some cool things. I got all sorts of fun stuff floating around here. We'll tinker with some PS3s. I got like a PlayStation TV floating around here somewhere. Maybe we can hack it or something. I don't know. Just let me know. It's a brave new world after we're 500, right? We're breaking new territory, talking about all sorts of new things, and still keeping it real with our pillars, right? Of course, Atari VCS, Sega Master System, Polymega, and Evercade are our true pillars. But we'll dip it out every once in a while. Talk about some cool things. Maybe that Genesis back there, right? Who knows? So anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you get down in the comments and talk to me about that kind of stuff. But before we go, of course, you know what's going to happen next. We got to thank, you guessed it, every single member of the Good Times Club. So let's do that right now. Let's thank these members. Let's thank the EverCanadian, Crimson Cross, George Games, Chris Westerman, Phantom Fiction, Lloyd Argem, Papa Pete, The Intellivision Gamer, Ken LaCure, Mr. Shua, John Mullig, Gunsy20, Herb Wars, Immortal Sojourn, DF, and Joe Whitlash. Thank you guys all so much for being members, for doing all of the awesome things that you wanted to do here at Bacon Ice Cream Productions, and they, like helping us out with 1080p StreamYard, not only here but on the Evercast and the Evercade Effect, and calling our retro gamers, but just being awesome people. Sending games to do completion quests. Speaking of completion quests, thanks so much everyone that was in the live chat that did the voting. It was a 4-1 vote, and Lunar, that guy right there, the Silver Star Story on Sega CD, won. We're going to be doing that next on the completion quest. I think I've got an idea on how we're going to open it, because there's a big cinematic opening, a lot of dialogue, and a lot of like things happen before we get into the action. I think we're going to take that on almost like a Fun for 5, do that in Studio A, and shoot that out as one episode before we start playing inside of the Cardland, so that way we can get all that stuff done, which would be really cool. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. And with all that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. Even if you aren't members, you can hit the join button if you'd like. That'd be kind of cool. You can do that. If not, hit some likes, hit some dislikes. Definitely get some comments in there. And of course, until next time, we will catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich, and we will see you later. Take it easy, guys.
RTSC.baconicecream.com